I think somebody summed it up on Twitter the day for me. He's a boy who can be a 9 out of 10 one week and a 2 out of 10 the next week. And
I'd agree with that.
I think that's sometimes difficult with somebody like Windass with his ability, because the boy has got undoubted ability. He's on that pitch last night. He was probably the only player that could have scored that goal with his athleticism and his quality of finish. Absolutely. And I think on the supporters, I think what the supporters sometimes see with Josh is that he's got his ability there. That his goals against Aberdeen, his runs that he does, and then he does sloppy things like getting the ball away. He misses some passes. He can maybe no follow his man completely to the end of the run. And I think sometimes that's what players maybe forget, is that we're a hard crowd, but we're a fair crowd in the sense that if you look at Jason Cummings, for instance, his endeavour last night was fantastic. His shoulder play was
shocked me. Cummings last night.
Yeah, definitely. He's got it in. He's
fitter. He led the line well. I don't think he gave a ball away to the second.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think it's as fans, if you look at all the wee heroes that we've had down the line, down the road, you'll get your likes of Nacho Novos and obviously Jason Cummings is starting to be a cult hero. I think these guys are 100%ers, and I think sometimes you can see with Josh that he's maybe not saying that he's not getting 100%, but his endeavour perhaps isn't there. And I think that's sometimes where the fans go wrong. And what I would say about the fans is that we're the most successful team in the world. That's a fact. And that type of pressure that we sometimes put on our players is probably why we're that successful, I think. But I also agree with True Blues. Synopsis is that booing a Rangers player doesn't benefit MD, but ultimately that pressure that we put on these players sometimes does come through, and it makes them even better players because of it. That's just my thoughts, Foxture.
But is he actually falling out with Rangers fans? Based on the way you're speaking, it sounds as if he's had a fallout with them.
I think Josh sometimes. I think sometimes Josh doesn't help himself with the fans. I think some of the things he puts on social media, and I think he's a bit brainless when it comes to some of the things he posts, and I think sometimes that rubs off in the park a wee bit. But as I said, I think
in all honesty, you've made a good point there, Mount, because I don't think the boy's the sharpest chisel in the toolbox. You know what I mean? I think that's part of his problem. By the way, I've never booed a Rangers player in my entire life. Never once have I ever. I've been unhappy with displays. I've been unhappy with performances. But never once have I booed a Rangers team or a Rangers player off the park. I don't ever intend to. It's not something that I do. But I have been sitting at Ibrox when it's happened, and I've been a bit annoyed by the whole thing, I don't think it does any good. I don't think it does a player any good for their confidence. It's different. It's one thing coming on this platform and having a good whinge after a bad performance or a loss.
Never.
It's one thing, Dave. It's one thing coming on here and having a good whinge, And I think you touched on a thing there, though, that I was just about to touch on just after True was speaking there, and it's social media. Within seconds, you can see what a player said. If he's having a go about something, you can see it within seconds, and within seconds, anybody that's annoyed by it, Rangers fans specifically, can fire something back at them. We're living in an age where you've got almost instant communication nowadays. We never had that 20 years ago. 30 years ago, 40 years ago when I first started going to the football. We never had that.
50 years ago.
You've only got it if you choose to have it, mate.
I
don't know why they call it social media. Everything I hear about is anti-social.
Aye, there's a lot of very, very anti-social stuff on it. I mean, some of the stuff that you see coming from never mind the Rangers fans, some of the absolute bile. I mean, Mountain, that'll tell you, I mean, I have the occasional look at stuff, and it's absolute bile. My young nephew, he's 19, he'll pop in for a coffee when he's passing by, going back and forward to work and stuff, and he'll show me stuff that he's seen for Celtic fans, Aberdeen fans, Dundee United fans a few weeks ago, stuff they were sending to Rangers players. And it's an absolute joke that people sit there and waste their time with this utter garbage. sending vile messages to players in an opposing team that we apparently don't care about, So I think we're learning this age of social media.
I think the easiest thing is to come off it, mate. You leave yourself open to our criticism, and you don't know if some of the people you're engaging with even support your own team because you just don't know. Anyway, we've been joined by a legend of Rangers Radio. How we doing, Boswell?
Your pattern gets worse, right?
Who's a personal friend of mine, Oxtail.
Hi, Boswell.
We're sending a search party for you.
Busy man on Fox. Well, I don't know. Is it Foxnet or in Foxnet? I don't know. But,
I heard you were grounded.
Well, there was that.
Your language. Because of your language.
Your pattern needs a bit of an overhaul as well, mate.
Well, you crack me up, boss.
You think so?
Carry on. What's your point?
Oh, I got a point.
Never been away. Carry on.
I see this Josh Windass thing. I don't know. What is Josh Windass? 22, 23?
Something like that, boys.
He's just a young boy. Let's give him a bit of rope. He's just shushed the fans, but I think he's done it to that because the people that go away to support our club are hardcore Rangers supporters. They're Rangers men. You imagine where that some of the absolute dens of iniquity they've had to go to in the last 5 years, and the rubbish they've had to endure from local police Scotland over all that time. And Josh Windass has got the cheek to shush these people. And it's not those people that are causing the problem, it's the internet savvy ones that are causing the problem. And I agree, it's probably not Rangers supporters that are causing this problem. So I think Josh's kind of, what would you say, statement last night is a bit misplaced. These supporters have walked through wind, rain, snow, shit, snotters, whatever, to get to where they've got. And I think the boys that go to support our club away from home are absolutely fantastic and so stoic. The stuff they've tolerated, unbelievable. And they're, in my opinion, they're real punters. The guys that will just go through everything and accept all sorts of stuff. Peterhead, wherever else. Exactly, last week, and if Josh Windass thinks he's going to be a Rangers hero for scoring a goal against Partick Thistle and a hat-trick against Fraserburgh, sorry, mate, that's not happening, not even beginning to happen.
All right, Fox has rejoined us. How we doing, Fox?
Not bad, pal.
Yeah, we thought it was no story, really.
I know. But I think what people on Twitter forget, mate, or whatever social medium you're using, is that George Windass was brought up in England, mate. He wasn't brought up in the west of Scotland. So a lot of people pick up in these comments. I've heard comments like, he's a bit brainless, etc. He's a young boy that doesn't know how to cope with the pressure up here of playing with Rangers, mate. And if that was his way of answering the critics back, well, fair enough. We should stop getting all uptight about it. He gave a bit back with what he was getting. It's no great crime, mate, and I think the press and talking about it's just making it worse.
Can I ask a question of Bridge? Because I heard Bridge say earlier that it would be part of all the shitstorm that we would get. I don't get where that comes from, Bridge.
It's only the press, because on the news, even it was mentioned on the news tonight, and they never say very much to the score about this and how well Rangers played.
They never do.
I'm just saying, all they said was that Josh Windass, something's going to be looked into by the manager because Josh Windass put his finger up to the crowd, and that's all. And I'm thinking, if that's going to be part of the shitstorm for the press, for what?
Bridge, can I then say, at what point did the press ever matter to Rangers supporters?
Oh, they don't matter to anyone, really.
It's just nothing then.
Well, it's the way the news. All I'm meaning is
but the news has always done that, Bridge. The news has always done that.
But it's going to build up even more.
No, it's not.
As we get towards the end of the season and we start to play a wee bit better, I think it will do. I think it will wind up. It'll be negative, anything negative.
But Bridge, it's always been negative. It's never been positive, and that's because of how the country is. And it's just how it is. The press don't matter. As long as there's people, like Sheila McLaren attending press conferences wanting to talk about gossip and not ever dealing with, making it a football-free zone. That's exactly what will happen. But Rangers supporters really need to get wise and say, well, let's stop watching STV, let's stop listening to BBC, let's stop dealing with the Daily Record and whatever, the Sun or whatever, because these people are irrelevant now. And as long as Rangers supporters continue to go back to these places and these outlets and give them the oxygen of publicity, they'll keep going. But we need to stop it as a support. And everybody on this platform and whatever other platform they're on need to tell people who are older, look, there's other places you can go to get your Rangers. You don't need to go to the Daily Record, because nothing that they ever will say will ever make us look good in any kind of light.
You'll get the online and the offline fans. Anyway, Gary wanted to come in. Evening, Gary.
Yeah. I know. I just wanted to say on this Windass thing, right? I've seen a lot of fans saying, I pay the money to go, I can, shout and say whatever I want. No, sorry, not for me. That's like saying I pay into a nightclub so I can go in and smash the place up. No, not for me.
I think the thing is, Rangers, I think the clue's in the name, innit? Rangers supporter, mate. If you want to be part of support, if you want to get there, it can be frustrating. We've all had moments when we've criticised our own players, but there's a difference between criticising and getting on severely on somebody's back. I mean, I never heard that the cameras were right above the Rangers support. And last night, I don't know about anybody else that's on the show, but I'll go to Rudy next after Gary, but I never heard any criticism going towards Josh Windass for the crowd, but I might have missed it because I was watching the game. What the point has been missed maybe in the whole thing, he's maybe scored the goal of the season, because what a move it was. Rudy?
I agree with you. I never heard anything, so I was quite surprised by the way it was being, suppose, blown out of proportion, really. It's like I said to you when you started talking about it a wee while back there, I think sometimes some of the support can be a wee bit precious, I mean, I sit there, and going and on about players, getting on their back, and we've done it on here, we've been sickened by a result. We've kind of had a good gripe about it on here, but no, I personally never heard anything. I mean, I heard the Rangers fans, singing away and supporting the team, and never, didn't hear anything about Josh Windass. So I was quite surprised by the whole thing that it had sort of blown up the day. But I think, a lot of it's down to the press, like Boswell was saying there. A lot of it's down to the press, just taking anything negative and, that they can find and blowing it up, and just turning it into something. It's really a non-story for me. I couldn't care less. Do you know what? He can tell me to shush every single game if he scores goals like he scored last night. You know what I mean?
I don't care on that one.
Also, could I just come back on just a couple of points here?
Well, wait a minute, man. I'll go through now and then I'll come to yourself.
Aye, of course.
All right. You finished, Rudy?
Aye.
All right, True?
Right, Rudy, shush. Is that said?
No, sorry, wait a minute, True.
Is that said? Right, enough.
What was that, Rudy? When you go through.
As I said earlier, we always look for a whipping boy, and let's be honest, we're signing football players here. We're not finding professors of mathematics or anything like that,
No, all our legends have been rocket scientists.
No, we're not looking for an IQ on the part, So, as Boswell says, he's a young boy, and that's it. You don't do that to Rangers supporters, and that's about. And I've seen players taking worse, actually. I don't know what the boy's putting up with, but I've seen Rangers players taking worse and just getting on with it, I mean, more recent years, Hateley wasn't exactly welcomed in, was he? Ali McCoy's in the early days of his career and all.
Cammy Fraser.
Well, aye. Ian Black.
There's been a few.
Aye. You should do that one night, Oxford, name your Rangers team, nobody likes.
That would be better.
Right, better than you come, mate.
Right, I'll shush now.
Rudy, shush.
There's just a couple of points on the Josh Windass thing. I think it was no more than what most players were getting, to be honest with you, in the first half. Like, there was a bit of
minutes, 25 minutes.
It was just they were dreadful, to be honest with you, mate. It was absolutely Baltic, so it was, and it was just one of the nights where I think there was nothing more than what other people wouldn't be getting, to be honest with you. But not to harp on about it, but again, there was
for Saturday, you think, Mike, the frustration?
I think so, mate. I think Saturday was just a completely frustrating day for me. I think from start to finish, I think it was just, again, I thought, I'm not going into too much with Saturday, but I thought the refereeing performance again was absolutely abysmal. I thought, I just thought we were kicked off the park on Saturday, but I think that's a different issue. But the thing about Josh Windass, I think, is that the boys got obvious talent, but he's just not got a brain between the ears. I think sometimes, and a boy beside me who goes to games all the time said something about it. He says that sometimes he doesn't have that football intelligence when he's got a bit of time, but when he's not got the time ahead of him, he actually looks, when it's all natural. Yeah, exactly. You took the word out of my mouth there. It's exactly why. I think that's the problem with Josh Windass, is if you get too much time, I think he makes a bit of a pig's idiot on that occasion. And I feel for Josh Windass, like Truebly says, he's a bit of a whipping boy on things. But he's got to stand up for that. I think
the learning curve for Josh is when you're not playing well, you've got to put a shift in.
He did get on it.
Last word to Bridgeman, then we'll be going to a tune, and then we'll change the subject when we come back. Right,
I just think I feel sorry for Windass if he's being picked on. I think it's sad. I hope that the Rangers fans sort of start to leave him alone a wee bit, because he scored a few goals for us, and we need those kind of goals to keep going. Plus the fact, the more we boo him, the less his value is going to go up in my eyes, So I think we would be, if we were trying to sell him, for instance, or someone came in and they find out that the fans are booing him, he's causing trouble here or he's doing that. We want to just clean your act up, pal. Go on with it, and the same with the fans. Clean your act up. Let's go. We're all Rangers. At the end of the day, we're all Rangers. Let's go on with it. We want to win the leagues if we can get that far. That's what I've got to say on it.
All right, lads, if you don't mind going on mute, Fox will give us a tune.
The statement I do make, and it is no mistake, about a football team that plays down Parkhead Way. They're a shower of diving shites, and you know that I am right, for that's the way the Glasgow Celtic play. They were playing against the Hearts when the ball went into the box. Chris Sutton, he dived down onto the grass. The ref just turned away and carried on with play. The fans then shouted, Sutton, get off your arse. Get off your arse. Get off your arse. You diving, cheating shite, get off your arse. He's always a bloody same. When you play this football game, you're always diving down onto the grass. Sutton's not the only one when you play against the scum. Petra Thompson and Hudson do the same, trying to con the referee to get a penalty, for the Celts will cheat so they can win the game. A match against Dundee, it was very plain to see when a ball came into the box to Didier Agat. Agat turned around, then dived him to the ground. The ref just said, Agat, get off your arse. Get off your arse. Get off your arse. You diving, cheating shite, get off your arse. He's always a bloody same. When you play this football game, you're always diving down onto the grass. There's a rumour going round up at the Parkhead ground. When you hear what it is, I'm sure you'll think it's true. The Tick have signed a guy to help them when they dive. It's none other than Mr. Duncan Goodhue. This rumour could be right. The other day I watched the shite. They were playing against a team nicknamed the Pars. Still Ian Petrov got the ball and done a terrific somersault, but he was told, hey, you get off your arse. Get off your arse. Get off diving, cheating, shite, get off your arse. These are always a bloody same. When you play this football game, you're always diving down to the grass. The diving still went on when the Celtic played the Dons. Sutton was on the ball when he got the call. The captain of Aberdeen thought he was on a submarine when he heard dive, dive, dive over the ball. The Rangers game was next and they were still up to their tricks. The Gers fans at the time were singing the sash. When Hartson hit the floor, there was one almighty roar. Hartson, you cheating shit, get off your ass. Get off your ass, get off your ass. You diving, cheating shit, get off your ass. These are always a bloody same. When you play this football game, you're always diving down onto the grass. Get off your ass, get off your ass. You diving, cheating, shite, get off your ass. These are always a bloody same. When you play this football game, you're always diving down onto the grass. Yes, she's are always diving down onto the grass.
True blue.
Get off your ass. Get off your ass. Brilliant number.
Brilliant. True blue. Teacher's pet.
That's the first time I've ever heard that, and that is absolutely
fabulous.
Gary, it was named at you, mate.
I like that. Well done. Well done.
Well done, Foxy.
One of your favourites, eh?
Certainly one of mine, that's for sure.
He'll be doing your next in real. Anyway, let's move on. Let's look at the positive play last night. We scored 2 good goals. I think we accept it. We didn't play well for maybe the first half an hour. Second half was a bit better. Maybe 4 out of 10 if we're lucky. First half, maybe 6.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10 for the second half. Anybody want to come in quickly on that?
I would agree. I would agree. I think I'd put it up maybe to 7, slightly above 7 for the second half. I thought second half performance was way above the first. So, but I'm happy.
It was the same as Saturday for me against the Hibs. It was similar. You know, not a great first half, better second half. You know, 2 games were the same for me. I think, as I said, in the end up, I thought we won it quite comfortably actually.
I was actually disappointed we never scored more goals, really.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Do you not think that's a few games in a row that's happened now? That we, you know, the first half hasn't been that great, and then we've come more into it in the second half. That seems to be becoming a bit of a trend for me.
It was kind of opposite way about Gary though against Aberdeen, wasn't it? It was the last 20 minutes they battered us at Ibrox in the last 20 minutes against Aberdeen. I thought we played well in the first half, you know. Played well for a bit of the second half, and then for the last sort of 15 minutes, whatever it was, they just threw everything at us, you know. We kind of sat too deep and allowed them to do it, sort of thing, you know. So it was a wee bit kind of different.
Seems hard for us to... Oh, sorry.
Well, on you go, mate.
I just, on the boys were saying, I think it seems hard for us to put 2 halves together, doesn't it? It seems like one half is one extreme and one half's the other extreme, you know. I think the first 20 minutes, as the boys were saying, was just shocking last night. But some of the football last night was breathtaking at times, and it's it must be a bit of a head scratcher for Mr. Murray. You know, the quality we're showing at times then versus the lack of.
But to get the quality out, it has to be consistent.
Of course, mate. Of course. You
know. So
can I just say? Sorry, can I just say as well, I seen something earlier on in the day which really surprised me. It was on one of the news sites, I won't say which one, that apparently Pedro has a better record than Murphy at the moment.
In 20 games, aye.
That really, really surprised me.
But it's no a startling better record. But
so who's got these stats?
It was on the.
We get them on all the media, all the Rangers sites, mate. Like 20 games.
Yeah, cool.
But it's only by 3 points of difference, so it's crazy.
It's only basically the Hibs game.
Aye.
Difference, but yeah, I mean, we've lost to Hibs at Ibrox, we've lost to St Johnstone at Ibrox, we've lost to Hamilton at Ibrox, we've lost away to Dundee. Have I missed any out? We lost away to Kilmarnock. This in quite a short period of time under Graham Murray. That's the facts. We can't get away from it.
We failed to get the win against Kilmarnock at Ibrox as well.
Aye, and we failed to get the win against Hearts at Ibrox as well, which we should have done.
Aye. That was Pedro's games, yeah?
Oh, aye, yeah.
Graham Murray.
The thing is, Ox, if you think about how many ex-Rangers players have scored against us this season, you know what I mean? If you look at Buck scored, Templeton scored, Boyd. Yeah, I mean, and these guys weren't fancy divers, but they scored against us, and that was what my point I was trying to make about it's a team game. Do you know what I mean? I'm definitely not criticising the Rangers fans that went to the game. I think Rangers fans are the best in the world. But just now, I think I got caught in it, myself, that we're all passionate and things like that. But now I just got to realise this is where we are, and we've just got to give the team the backing we can. But as I said, with these amount, like when Templeton is scoring again, your luck's no in. No, but I think I agree with what you were saying about the games. I think we're not a 90-minute team yet, and hopefully that will come.
Can you go on mute, please? Carry on, Mike.
I say I hope for 90 minutes we can do that. We're not a 90 minutes team. I've said that. I don't know why Aberdeen we should have been out of sight, and then they could have scored 4 or 5 goals without even really putting anything into the game to the last 20 minutes.
If they'd have scored, mate, we were hanging on the way.
We kind of fight teams on us, which I don't think we're good defensively enough to do that. And I know we've got a lot of injuries in midfield. That's another thing we've got to factor. We have got injuries. But
key players for us.
Oh, definitely. But the sad thing about this season, and I don't know if the lads will agree with me, this was definitely, if we had the right man in at the start of the season, this was a season we could have won that league, because they're not getting any great shakes.
Boswell, we've not heard from you. Any thoughts on that, mate?
Well,
how frustrating a season it's been.
It has. We've played well against the, in air quotes, bigger teams, but I don't think we've really covered. It's been the home form. Yes. St Johnstone, Hamilton, Hearts, Hibs twice. I mean, that performance on the weekend for me was just unacceptable. And I don't care how well we played in the second half. We ultimately lost the game because of stupidity and lack of thought, lack of being a good professional. But the other thing that Magpie is saying there is that there's a lot of people even on here that have no understanding about where the reality of this club is. We want to say, well, we should be. We are. No. It's where we are. Is that this is where we are. We're having to deal with people like Josh Windass, with Tav, coming in for very, very small fees, and then wondering why these boys aren't consistent. They're not consistent because they weren't good players in the first place. And they're actually punching well above the abilities they have and have displayed in other clubs. So I think we're getting more out of these players than anybody else has. So,
what do you think about the transfer window, Boz? How did you feel about that, the players that we brought in the transfer window?
I thought it was a fair window. I thought that, well, see, the thing is, we're looking at someone like Jamie Murphy, who's essentially come in on a loan. Cummings has come in on a loan. Young Goss has come in on a loan. I heard someone say the other night there that they were disappointed in him. The boy's a loan player, for God's sake. What do we expect? He's come for QPR. He's barely had any football. He's coming to us. He's playing at a level of intensity that he's never, ever played before. And people are disappointed. Where's the reality?
I think it's just because See, because of who we are, the club that we are, we're
so the club we were. That's the difference, mate. The club we were. People still think we are that club. We're unfortunately nowhere near that club. And until we can match, I noticed today that we've got a turnover of 30 million. And I said this a few months ago. Until we can start punching back up at 60 million turnover, we are not going to be anywhere near ready to take the league. And if people think we are close to the league, I think that's delusional. I really do. Because we're always going to be having to deal with loan players and players like the young fella we've got from Hamilton who looks a good prospect. We're having to bring in a loan player for QPR. That's not how Rangers were, and that's what people think we are. We were never there, but we are now, and it's understanding that this is part of the new reality.
But one of our best players in the last 15 years was a loan player for Fulham who became permanent.
Steve Davis.
Steve Davis, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But don't forget, we ended up having to pay something like £4 million for Steve Davis.
Aye. That's also true.
So it's a different world.
Right. But we
I hate to put a damper on this because I've said it before. People say they get quite.
Don't forget it. We're the same club.
Well, yes, we are the same club, but we have to deal in a different arena now, and that's what a lot of people have to come to terms with.
Different circumstances, but by the same club.
Yeah, but unfortunately, with that same club comes the same level of expectation. And people were talking about this the other night there about why our players find it so difficult to play at home. It's because it's the expectation of 50,000 Bears wanting us to win. And these boys just aren't capable. They're doing the best they can, but they're just not capable of dealing with that level of expectancy and intensity. And I don't care what anybody says. If people don't have it... Now, how many times have we said on here before, playing for Rangers, it's about 30% ability and 70% mentality. We're actually dealing in lower ratios than that at the moment, unfortunately.
Can I come in, boss? That was a
brilliant point. At a time, well, I'll go to Magpie, then we'll go to...
All right, sorry, lad. I said the other night, boss, I agree 100% with you again. It took me a little while. I'm going up. I expected more for these Rangers players, but then a sense of reality kicks in when you sit back and you think about it. Now, I said none of these guys have probably been in teams that have went 4 or 5 games in a row winning games. They don't have experience yet. They also don't have experience of playing in front of 50,000. You go for Accrington Stanley, that's just an example to playing for Rangers. And so you're 100% right. There's a big pressure on them. These aren't the superstars. These aren't the international footballers that Rangers always had. And that's why I'm saying, come on, lads. We've got enough enemies out there. We don't need to be fighting amongst ourselves. And that's all I was trying to say. And I'm trying to make an example of it. Better players have failed at Rangers, and I think we have to get behind the team.
Fair comment, Magpie. Rudy Bear, then True Blue.
After the game at the weekend, the other night, I asked the question.
I heard you were off your food, mate.
No, that never happens, mate. Believe me. After the game at the weekend, boys, I asked the question: are we expecting too much of them? And I've come to that conclusion. I don't know. I can't speak for every Rangers supporter. I can only speak for myself. And I think I have now come to the realisation that I have been expecting too much of them, As Ox has just said there, don't ever forget, we're the same club.
Early on, Paul Gascoigne set off on another surging run, and in a case of role reversal, Marco Negri set up Brian Laudrup for the opener.
Doherty spent 600,000 on some add-ons and stuff.
It was Richard Gough who set up number 2. His perfectly placed ball allowed Marco Negri through to score his first of the game. Laudrup was the provider for number 3. Paul Gascoigne was denied by Ian Westwater, but the keeper was helpless when Negri pounced on the rebound.
Like Steve Davis. That was 4 million.
Joachim Bjorklund and Stuart McCall were involved in the early build-up for number 4, and then Paul Gascoigne took over.
Fox has said on here numerous times in the past we won't compete properly until we get back up there as far as the finances go. And the only way for us to do that, Boswell, is Champions League. That's the only way that could be sorted.
Gascoigne also had a major part to play in goal 5. Marco Negri again displayed his clinical finishing. Soon after, it was 6-0, the goal a thing of beauty. Ryan Laudrup's pass was superb, Gascoigne's finish sheer perfection.
There's uncertainty at our club now, not just for the loanees, but if you look at the top of
Stuart McCall helped to tee up number 7, and Marco Negri showed skill and determination before firing the ball past Westwater.
We've got a temporary manager here, and we work into the signings we made during the summer, the January window there, and the majority of them are loanees. They're playing in a team now.
A stunning performance by Paul Gascoigne and yet another match ball for Marco Negri. It was a warning to all Rangers rivals, and the scoreline was surprised even.
Mr. Murray has got a better squad to choose for, and he seems more up for the job.
Having a go, mate.
Eh?
He might ultimately fail, but at least
aye. Well, that was what my criticism of Kenny McDowell. You know, you've landed in a situation here, you know, and you've been presented with it. Make the most of it. But that guy was like a rabbit in the headlights. He couldn't get out of there quick enough. And I'll certainly give that Graham Murray. You know, he's embracing this and he's going for it. But you know, there's too much uncertainty from top to bottom about everything about the club at the minute.
I think things are turning through. Just hold on to your hat, mate. Hold on to your hat. It could be coming.
Well, I hope so, but we've got so many times, with all due respect, how many times we heard it.
Announcement tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock.
Aye, I know. Aye. Fact. You
remember these days?
Aye. But for me, until all these things are sorted out, and I've been banging on about stability and the club living within its means now, they've just achieved a credit facility they do, you know, and that's, I don't know if that's good news or bad news.
I think it's going to be good, mate.
Well, we shall see in the long run, but, you know, Boswell's right, we're looking at a whole different set-up at Ibrox nowadays, I feel. You know, as I say, for the manager, players, right up the top, through the boardroom, club top to bottom, there's too much uncertainty. We need stability at the club.
Fox, then Gary, then Bridge.
I don't know where I can go for after True there, mate. The one thing I would say is people are expecting a lot out of the club at this present time. We spent on paper a lot of money during the summer, but what we need to remember is the price of players has probably doubled, if not trebled, since the last time we spent that amount of money. So we're buying within our meetings and getting there gradual. It's very slow what's happening, but we'll just have to sit back and wait till it does eventually turn, I think.
Gary, then Bridge. I think Bridge might be doing the dishes.
No, Bridge is sitting here listening. Very happy.
Who's doing the dishes?
Aye, just to go back to what I was saying to Boz earlier on there, right? What I'm meaning is the fans have been so the success of the past that they're not being realistic. They expect that to continue. And I'm one of the realists. I know it's going to take a few years for us to get back to where we are. But it's the people that are so used to the success that expect that to continue. Do you know what I mean? They just automatically think that that's the way it should be. And they don't look at the bigger picture. And I think if to get us to where we want to be, it's going to take, you know, maybe winning things like the Scottish Cup. That's where the money's going to come from.
I'm going to come out and disagree with a lot of you here. I think your fans in this journey have been second to none and showing loyalty to your club. Loyalty to your club. All right, we're frustrated and maybe criticisms and maybe the expectations are high, but the loyalty and the way they've supported the club at all levels, for Division 3, queuing up to get season tickets, every away game sold out in the last 7 years. We're getting frustrated because we're maybe made, but the fans have shown unbelievable commitment to our club.
But that's a different thing, though, Ox.
No, I don't think anybody ever questioned that.
I mean, the loyalty, you just can't. I mean, you can't doubt that whatsoever. And anybody that does is an imbecile, as far as I'm concerned. If you doubted the Rangers fans' loyalty, you just that. I mean, it's laughable. Like that's why Boz is laughing. I mean, all the way for the third division up, the way you were so
good. On here and said we were going to win the treble, did they?
No. I'm not saying that. But I'm one of the last couple of seasons, though. See, when I thought immediately we'd hit the ground running as soon as we get back into the SPL bridge. Yep. I'm one of them that had high expectations, you know.
I think all of us were, Rudy. All of us were.
You know, and it's not worked out that way, you know. I mean, you know, we've got a battle on for second place right now. We're 3 points behind Aberdeen after the win last night. You know, for me, it's all about finishing. I mean, there's no use even thinking about winning the league. We blew that on Saturday against Hibs when, if we'd have got these 6 points between the Hibs game and the Thistle game, we could have been into single figures behind the Tims. That's not going to happen.
Pressure does things, but we try to pressure our Bridgeman, and then...
Yeah, I can't disagree with what the boys are saying. It's the result on Saturday was heartbreaking for me. I don't know, but I would imagine every other Rangers fan would be the same. It was actually heartbreaking to have 50,000 once again. 50,000 fans at Ibrox. I think that's the biggest crowd we've had. Like three fans short of 50,000 in Ibrox on Saturday. And it's just, the atmosphere must have been tremendous. The place would be bouncing. And there we go again. We lose. That's no right. There's something no right there. However, we're all realists as much as possible. But all the fans only want the best for Rangers. They're putting the money in. Now it's time that shall we say, we're saying the directors to turn around and say, how are we going to get some extra cash? Because obviously that's what we need. We need investment. So hopefully the rumours that are going around are going to turn out true. By the end of the season, we'll get the investments required. In the meantime, we have to have the best out of these team, the players that we've got. So it's up to Mr. Murty and the rest of the management team to make sure these guys are up for every game, particularly Ibrox. Please, get a grip. Come on.
Bridge, do you still listen to Radio Snide?
No, I don't touch it, pal.
All right, I was just wondering because my mate texted me the other day to say that apparently Matt Guidi said last week there's something really big just about to happen for Rangers.
You
see it on Clyde apparently.
I heard them say it.
One at a time. Magpie.
Listen, lads, see the Hibs games. If you look back at the two Hibs games were just, they stood alone for me. You know, like as I think it was Mount, I can't remember. It said that they were allowed to put in tackles at you know that you wouldn't see anywhere else in Europe. Neil Lennon, I said before the game that Neil Lennon's got the referees tied up here, and the worst thing that could happen to Rangers was the dodgy goal that Hearts scored against them, and it was all over the papers. And I don't think he's been taken to task for criticising, but you know, the referees. But this is a man who was responsible for a referee strike, and I actually think Neil Lennon's still living off the Celtic days where he gets the benefit of the doubt. I do agree that, you know, I actually think that the Rangers fans, you know, whatever he's saying tonight, we agree the Rangers fans are the best in the world. Johnny Daly, our partner, had a better record than Brendan Rodgers has had this season. That's what I read. I don't know if it's true or not, but there was only 20,000 people going to see Ronnie Daly, and they were winning the league. Can you imagine Rangers are winning the season with them not in it? There'd still be 40,000 there. And that's the difference between the teams. The Rangers fans are absolutely fantastic. There's nobody criticising them, and you can't criticise them for that. But I've held my hands up. I have to have a sense of realism because I was getting too excited as well, thinking we had a wonderful team. We have got what we've got. And I love them. And I love anybody who puts that approach here, sure.
Can I ask a question?
On you go, of course you can.
Does MD in the panel, or was MD in the panel surprised that when we came into the Premier League, mate, teams were more organised than they were before we left? Do you think that your Partick Thistles and things are more organised than they were before? Did that come as a surprise to us?
Can I come in on that?
On you go, boss.
I think that we can see this at international level, Fox, where very few teams, very few smaller teams are getting absolutely pasted now. I'll tell you when this kind of come to me first of all, is back in 1991 when the Faroe Islands beat Austria 1-0. And I think
Iceland, Boswell. Iceland.
Yeah, well, exactly, Iceland. So all of those you can see if that level, that only filters down where other teams become much more organised. They say, well, what we'll do is we'll make ourselves hard to beat. There's no point in anybody going to Parkhead or coming to Ibrox and trying to play like Partick Thistle, trying to play football against us, because then if you play football against people who are essentially better players than you, they'll do you every time. You look at the situation Leeds United faced at Rodney Parade against the Welsh mob. They sorted Newport County. They sorted them out and they beat them 1-0. Was it 2-1? They beat them or 3-2? I can't remember. But anyhow, they said we'll make ourselves hard to beat, and that's what every team started to do, is just make themselves hard to beat. They don't need to compete. They just need to not lose. And I think that's what shocked us.
They compete against each other, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
But they shut up shop, especially against Rangers, mate. They really shut up shop against us.
There was one thing, Fox, for me when we come back into it, and I don't want to, it wasn't Mark Warburton's fault in some respects, because he had his own philosophy. We sort of bought into it. He was going to play 4-3-3. He was going to play that all the time, and he had this, you'll roll the ball out for the back, we'll no mix it up, we'll put myself under pressure, we'll no launch it. And everybody knew it was going to happen. So I think that some of our problems have been self-made. I.e., that one, Warburton, they'd got him and told him what he had today had to change if he wanted to keep the job. Obviously, he left, and then we made a real blunder with the Pedro Cachina. I'll carry on with the panel with that, but we've been joined by a caller. I believe it's Big Al. How we doing, big man?
Good evening, gentlemen. I just picked up a wee bit earlier there. You were talking about Windass sensitivity. Yeah, we're getting too sensitive.
Easily
easily offended. Easily upset. Who cares? I don't know who was pro and against him or what. So what? He put his finger up. So what? That's just a wee thing back to his detractors. He'll learn for it. Social media as well should be a total ban when you're at a football club. I don't think it's does any good at a football club. Comments cover it. You can see Tavernier's 2 different comments the last week to this week, also your Windass. Just say to them, look guys, you've plenty of time for social media when your career's over. Whilst you're at Rangers or at any other club, there's a social media ban. Any comments you have to make will go through the proper club channels. Simple as that. And then that alleviates any of their problems. You were talking just there about putting 10 men behind the ball. Did we not get pilloried and it was called something else? Parking the bus. When we had a European run.
Anti-football. Anti-football.
Anti-football. So how all of a sudden did it changed? How was it not just parking the bus? See, when it comes when people are jealous. I haven't said Jose Mourinho because people are jealous of Jose Mourinho. He parks the bus. He doesn't play anti-football, or he doesn't play 10 men behind. He parks the bus. That's what they say. I've noticed that with Jose Mourinho, and it's the same with our club. It's just because we're successful with the people that people want to beat, the other teams want to beat. And if that's their way of doing it, well, good on them. We have to be a better team and break it down ourselves.
Yeah. We'll go to Mount Vernon and then we'll go to True Blue.
I just think the point Fox made there was quite an interesting point. I think Boswell touched on it as well. I think the difficulty was that if you look at Aberdeen in terms of how they play, they've had 4 or 5 years like with these teams where they are difficult to break down, difficult to shift, to shift them as an opponent. I think us as a support have realised that what Boswell's saying is that these smaller teams, Partick Thistle, Ross County, have realised that if they can get organised and shape up, even especially at Ibrox, then if they can ride the first 20 minutes, then there's a good chance that us as supporters will be on the back of the team, and it's then difficult for our players to break the players down. But for me, guys, the big thing, I think I'll just mention it as well. We've got to be better. We've got to be able to break teams down. We've got to figure a way out of this. I think with time, it's just time, guys. I think as you'll see for last season, we've moved on in terms of the quality they've brought into the club for last season, and it'll be the same this time next year as well. So, bit of patience, guys, and just keep following in the footsteps. That's all we can do.
All right. I don't think it's any. We keep playing a version of 4-4-2. We keep you numbered in the middle, right in the middle of the park. I mean, that's naivety sometimes for me. True Blue.
I think the best analogy I can draw is if you've got two snooker players and one obviously is better, the best chance for the other player is to, play safety, lay snookers, don't go for anything unless it's a certainty. Cairo will tell you about that with his snooker exploits. But it's dreadful to watch, but it's down to the good player or the bigger team to break that down and push ahead, and we've not been doing it.
Rudy?
Aye, that's a good point True Blue makes. I've really struggled against teams that put 10 men behind the ball, and then they have a wee, they try and hit us in the break, and some of them have been successful. I mean, Hamilton, for instance, and that's down to us. It's that I don't have a problem with a team putting 10 men behind the ball. As True Blue says, it's dreadful to watch, but you can't expect them to come to Ibrox and want to come out and play football. And it's quite noticeable that the teams that had actually come out to play against us are teams that have been most successful against. That's the teams that have been most successful. It's quite mainly about the 3 Aberdeen games and the game against the Timbs where we were actually after 90 minutes disappointed. We never won the game, with the chances we had in the second half. And that's, that's noticeable to me, the fact that they really struggle. And you make a good point actually at the midfield as well.
He's been absolutely slaughtered in many
too often, and it's got to be looked at, and we have to find a way around that. We have to find a way to sort that out. But in a way, I feel a wee bit sorry for Graham Murray, the new. Well, I don't feel sorry for him as such, but I can understand the new what his problem is. He's got players out injured, players who would normally either be in the first team or at the very least sitting on the bench. Good players, Ryan Jack, McCrory, Dorrans. These guys would be in the first team, so they would. Just now, his hands are tied a wee bit. So there is certain things that he can't do now. When they get back, it's more options for us on the bench. We've certainly got a better squad now than we had before January in the first half of the season.
Mm-hmm. Gary, and then Fox.
Yeah, I think for me it's all about how we break these teams down. I mean, a perfect example for me is what Hearts done to them at the end of last year, right? They bullied them, and that's what we should be doing to these smaller teams. But for these smaller teams, it's all about surviving for them. Do you know what I mean? It's all about staying in the league for these teams, and they'll do anything they can to do that. Do you know what I mean? And if that means putting 10 men behind the ball, then good luck to them. But we need to find a way to bully them and break them down.
I think I would agree with some of that if for everybody, and I'll put this out there. We never get beat 1-0 with Hamilton and St Johnstone at Ibrox.
Multiple goals.
Aye, Fox.
Well, that's because we're committed to breaking them down, mate. And these small teams know that. All they need to do is find one good ball out of defence, mate. Our full-backs are forward. And there's plenty of space, and that's what they exploited, mate. Fair play them. They came with a tactic and it worked for them.
So our tactics are wrong. Your tactics are wrong then.
No, it's the way us as fans demand that Ibrox we should be attacking, mate. Same as some of the games I've watched, mate, when we're winning 1-0. Instead of just disappearing with the 3 points, we push for the second that much. We get caught in the counter and sometimes drop 3 or 2 points. Where we are now, I don't think we're much better than all the rest of the other teams, mate. And everybody else, Celtic's finding it this season as well. These wee teams are smarter this year. They struggle to win games. We keep saying they're not playing well, but we don't give credit to the wee teams. It's turning the mare, mate.
Aye. Bridgeman. Then Magpie, then Boz. Well, we lost Bridge. Magpie. Oh, Alan. Sorry, Alan. Big Al. Sorry, Alan.
Well, have any of you ever read Gary Kasparov's autobiography, the chess champion
chess
guy? Player. Chess player, Grandmaster. He always played his own game, right? And always played his own game. The other guys knew they had to be defensive against him. But he knew that his game would be better and would be able to break down that defence. I think we have to find a style and play our own game, and eventually you will break them down. Whether that's a 1-0 win or a 3-0 win, it doesn't really matter to me. It's a win, and I think we're lacking in that. I don't see the formation changes a wee bit here there. So we're still at the very early stages of finding that identity again. So I think we'll find it difficult. But I think if we play our game, if it's two wide men and the ball's close to the ball, I think if we stick at that, it will come right. And I think you can see that in any successful football team. Man United was the same. Arsenal, when they were doing it with Henry, they stuck to the thing that they know best, and it produced results. So I would like to see us do what we do best and just keep at it.
All right. Are you back with us, Bridge?
Yeah, just wait it, pal. Sorry.
All right, no problem, mate. I think you would 3-5-2, wouldn't you?
Oh, yes. For me, I think that's the greatest form of attacking football that we've ever seen. 3-5-2. I really do wish Rangers could get the right players in place in order to. They might have them there now, and I hope this coach is up to it, because 3-5-2 gives you so much going forward, and Rangers would always be in the front foot. But when you're playing 4-4-2 and they're packing the midfield, it's a waste of time. And then they start pumping the high ball on top of your defenders, and they just force you back all the time. It's really bad. It's really bad. I prefer 3-5-2. I was impressed by Warburton in the first 3 or 4 months when they started in the Championship.
Started off well, mate. Started off well.
I thought it was brilliant. I mean, it was revolutionary stuff, and we scored a barrel load of goals, and it carried us through for the whole season. Unfortunately, we never got. We never got.
When the wheels come off big time, boys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hello. Oh, everybody there.
We're going to start singing there, boys.
I don't get paid enough money to do that here.
You get paid?
I watched your inquiry about this.
I was promised money back at the start, Fox, and look what happened.
Oh, he said that we gave 100% more than you got the last time.
Anyhow, Fox is still trying to get a credit facility.
I don't think Fox is short of credit. I think that it's this. What really had done for us before was this lack of the willingness to change, and if you change it up, you then make yourself hard to read. And the more options you have, look, Mark Warburton's thing was, we don't have Plan B, we just do Plan A better. Well, look what happened there. I was a great fan of Mark Warburton because I thought it was the right thing to do at the right time, and it kind of worked, as we were saying, for maybe 3 or 4 months. Then you could see there was a rigidity in thought. There was no possibility of him changing. And people aren't stupid. They may be footballers, but they're smart about football. They've got football intelligence. And that's when people said, well, look, we know that when we play Rangers, this is how they play. So if we combat that and we make, them difficult to do what they do, but if you, like what you're saying, if you stand back off them, they'll kill you. And I think that this is so important, is be unpredictable. And that's the thing, in my opinion, that always works, because...
Be flexible.
Well, exactly. If you're unpredictable, people then don't know what you'll do in a given situation. And I always think that when creativity is involved, the most important thing is about being unpredictable, because everybody else follows the crowd. If you don't follow the crowd, people don't know where you go.
Was that our problem last year, mate? We went for creative players rather than physical players, which was much needed in this league.
We
put Warburton naively, Cranchard, Barton and Rossiter, mate. That was going to be our new engine room of our team, mate. And
it's just never going to happen, was it?
It flopped big step.
Well, Cranchard was finished by the time he came here. Joey Barton came here with a bigger reputation than his ability would suggest, and Rossiter was just a crock, unfortunately. But hopefully that boy's back on the road again. It's just baby steps for him, but certainly, I mean, Joey. What done for Joey Barton was his comment, Scott Brown's not in the same class as me. I'm sorry, but Scott Brown was coming to it, unfortunately, from a position of strength. Joey Barton was coming to it from a position of having a big mouth and not enough skill to back up his assertion.
He might have been proved ultimately right about Warburton, right enough.
Well, there is that, but certainly his comments, I don't think helped him. As I say, the Cranchar thing, I'm sorry, but it was a nice idea, but just ultimately
£2 million doing the Swanee, Mount Vernon. Then
5 years too late, Boswell. 5 years too late, man.
No, definitely. I think it's a hard one. It's a hard one. I think you make some good points about the Warburton side of things. Where I come from, guys, is I think I said it just earlier. The way I think it was the boy Gary said, mentioned something really interesting to me. It's going to take time. This is going to take time, and I think Saturday realised that for me. Saturday was a hard one. As man mentioned, it's going to take time, guys, and we just need to be patient, I think, and that's hard for Rangers supporters.
But Saturday wouldn't have been a problem, mate. We could have put that down to one of the match if we'd have beat Hamilton, St Johnstone, mate.
I think, see the difficult...
frustrated about
I know,
Saturday.
I know, mate, I know, and I think that's the problem, guys. I think that's where we're at, is that the inconsistencies, this is the quality of player. Somebody mentioned it earlier again. It's the quality of players that we've got, is that for us to get to that level where we are frustrated at a very, very bad result against Hibs, it's going to take a bit of time. And I think what Saturday showed us is that it's not down to luck, it's not down to anything else other than we need to get better players in that park. And I think, to be honest with you, I hate to say it as well, but I think Murty was outsmarted by Lennon.
He was, particularly in the
first. And I don't like to admit that, but Lennon's a very clever coach when it comes to he's an absolute moron, the guy, personally speaking, but he's a very, very good. He knows how to set a team up to play against people, and I think ultimately it was crying out for an extra person in midfield on Saturday. The other big thing for me is that I think Murty's lack of. I think with Warburton, his substitutions were predictable, but I think with Murty, he leaves him far too late for me. I think Jason. He's won a free kick as well. I think Jason Houghton had done his best, but I think we were just outnumbered in midfield in the first half, and we slightly. I think they were forced. I think there was an early change for them that's forced their change of formation, but it's just. The inconsistencies because of the level of player we've got, guys. It's nothing else. I think Boz have said it is that we're wanting too much out of players that we just can't get them out. We just can't get that consistency out of it, and that's the reality where we are. We're not going to have that. We're not going to. It's going to take us a couple of seasons to get to the level of a player where we demand it off him, no expect it off him. And I think that's the reality of the situation, guys. But as I said, it's just a wee bit of patience, guys. We will get there. A big step again off the park. There's rumblings, about more investment. So keep patient with it, guys. I don't need to say that to the Rangers support, considering the last 4 or 5, 6 years that we've been through. But just keep it going,
Well said, Ben. Well said, Gary.
Do you know what the biggest thing for me is? Right, the biggest problem for me with us going forward is beating the offside trap, right? And what I'm going to say is Morelos is a perfect example, right? He must be offside at least 6 or 7 times a game for me.
Not once last night.
Maybe not last night, obviously, because he wasn't on that long, but... But for me, that's the biggest problem for us going forward. That's what we need to find a way. We need to find a way to combat that, because if we can beat that, for me, we could score a barrel load more if we can just find a way to stop that. Because
the funny thing is, it's for defence it's been the problem this year, mate. If you look at it, we've talked about the Hamilton, St Johnstone and the Hibs game, the last 3 sort of home defeats. We've lost 7 goals just in the 3 games at Ibrox. So we're losing goals. I mean, if we'd have come away with A3 with scrappy 1-0 wins, look where we're sitting.
It's a bad combination. You're losing too many at the back. You're not scoring enough up front.
Can I just suggest something here? Is that, see, the first year Graham Souness was at Rangers, do you know how many goals we lost in that season?
Quite a lot, mate.
18 at Ibrox.
Man.
That's quite a lot for us to lose when we've got that type of defence on there. So you can see that people were talking about this earlier, how you can compare, what would it have been, Terry Butcher and who was it played beside him?
Oh, Roberts came in.
Well, that was at Christmas time. But yeah, but that whole thing, 18 goals at Ibrox we lost that year, which I think was quite a lot when we consider. And so we've lost 7 in those games. It's kind of understandable, and you can kind of match it up a bit then.
Can you remember the last time we scored more than 3 in a league game? I've got the answer in front of me.
It's been a while, pal.
I've got the answer in front of me. I just want to see if MD...
Hamilton last season.
What have we told you about coming on here and asking questions like that?
I think
Hamilton
was got it.
It
was Hamilton.
It was Hamilton in September.
You've got to PM me the answers to the questions. So
and before that was it no Hibs at Ibrox? Before that, scored 4.
Before that, it was Dundee. It was Dundee.
Oh, Dundee, yeah.
In the cup.
Aye, 4-1 at home.
4-1 in the cup. Harry Forrester get the first goal, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. That was a great goal too. Another great goal.
Yeah.
Just countdown we're on.
What's that?
Just countdown we're on tonight.
You've always been a conundrum to me through. So
here's a question for you, if you don't mind.
On you go, Big Al.
What sport are you not allowed to have facial hair in to compete?
Diving. Diving.
Women's volleyball.
No, it's not. I thought somebody would say that, but no, it's a genuine sport. I thought you would have got it, Fox.
Australian rules or something, man.
No. Sorry, digress a wee bit, but...
On you go
for it then.
Put it out. I'm not telling you, just work it out.
Oh, beat it.
There's a few suggestions.
I
actually know the answer.
That's a middle quite Google there.
It's boxing. Amateur boxing.
No.
Amateur boxing.
No, it's not.
Come on, big man, put us out of misery.
Here's a clue. Fox.
No, don't give us a clue. Tell us.
Really? You really horse race? You can't take a mount. You can't take a mount with facial hair. It's in the rules.
I don't know. Your young mount's been took a few times.
never from behind though.
Could I come back in and ask Mount a question? Mount, just in regards to what you were saying there, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
What you said there, I see 2 fixes for that: heavy investment, or a manager that can actually coach players to take them to the next level. What do you see as the best option for us, or how do you see those 2 things?
I think a good manager wins you a season, if you want to put it a better way. I think if you have a quality manager, I don't think you need the levels of investment that perhaps a lesser quality manager requires. Saying that, I think the level of investment we need is not just money in. We need to get, Boswell's right, we need to get to the Champions League. We need to be getting to Europe to then get the extra revenue, the extra commercial revenue, the fact that we can get bigger and bigger revenue streams for the kit sponsors, for the people who sponsors the kit, the brand manufacturers. I think for me, mate, I would get the best quality manager possible, because then the money that we're spending is good money we're spending, in my opinion.
I can't disagree with that. I think I've said that right from the start. When they went out and spent whatever it was they spent to get to what do you call it, the Tranny man, and I don't know how many millions they paid to him or someone else to get
him. About $3 million a year, Bridge.
Well, whatever it is, it's the thing is, it's a huge investment.
He's still picking up his wages for Liverpool.
Yeah, the way to pay for a failure.
Exactly,
a lot of money to pay for a failure.
Yeah, the way it's worked out, Celtic are hardly paying him anything in reality because he's getting lots of money elsewhere anyway. So the thing is that I doubt very much if they're going to got a manager of that sort of alleged quality without someone else bankrolling it. Because I just kind of see
question that one, Bridge. I don't see where the quality is. That man was the.
No.
Is it Celtic because is it Celtic because he's a failure at Liverpool?
Yeah, I'm not just. He's an ex-Liverpool manager, so generally for an ex-Liverpool manager, you're probably talking maybe £4 or £5 million a year, and I don't see Celtic ever being able to afford £4 or £5 million a year. I think that's what I meant.
That's I don't like the guy between friends.
Exactly.
Desmond Tutu.
Desmond Tutu would need to put get his money in his back pocket or his one of his false bank accounts somewhere.
Is that the one in Panama?
Aye, wherever. Some.
Can I just ask?
Yeah, on you go, Gary.
What happened to the panel given our top 5 Rangers goals?
Well, we had 13 calls.
Too late.
What to discuss. So we'll do
There's too many. There's too many goals. I mean, too many great goals.
No, not at all, mate. It's all done. All the work's done.
That's a showing it's saying, big man.
Even Bridges sorted it. He's got a day in the morning to sort himself out now.
I've got a list of my goals that I want to get hold of.
But well, I'm sure we were going to do that because of that goal last night. But the show goes arms and legs. People come in with points. As I say,
great show.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 callers. 13 callers. So that's how.
Did you hear Ali Brazil this morning?
I did.
Ali Brazil was touting.
Go and tell us then.
Ali Brazil was touting Brenda, the tranny shagger, for, I couldn't believe it, the Arsenal, Chelsea and Tottenham jobs. And you're having a laugh, even in the top 20, man. I tried to phone back Jim White, but they weren't having it. Like.
I've heard them being linked to Arsenal quite a lot.
Who?
I have heard them being...
Jim White getting it?
No,
Boswell's a big Arsenal man. I wonder if you'd like to comment on that. Boswell, what do you think of these stories about the tranny man being linked to you guys?
As what?
As manager for
Arsenal. Boys.
I think there was a job up. I think there was a job up in the club deck that they were looking for someone to run the burger stand.
Love it.
Boswell, can I ask you a question?
Make it brief.
Yeah. Boswell, I watched a wee thing last night about how Rangers saved Arsenal and about the controversy, how Craig White sold the shares and things like that. Do you know much about it, mate?
Yes, that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Arsenal needed investment, and Rangers were the only club to step forward, and that's why there's been a relationship ever since.
Yeah, I think it was up until 1980. I think they were still playing friendlies.
As long as it's been it's almost been for the whole life of Arsenal since they moved from Woolwich south of the river to when they moved north of the river, and it's always been the case. And I mean, I've told the story before here on here. People want to go back and listen, but it's always been the case, and there's always been a good relationship between Rangers and Arsenal. It's just a pity that.
Boys. You think he's still there?
Well, why did they send the Zellerlam up with all the stars they had?
But he was probably the best they could have got because we were absolutely stinking at that time. But it's nice to have that kind of thing with such a club as Arsenal, and it's also nice for Arsenal to have a thing with such a club as us.
Chapman and Struth were friends. Anyway, we've reached that time in the evening, and I'll go to True Blue first for a shout out.
Oh, you got me there. I was nearly away, boy. Yeah, just a shout out. Just a shout out, you guys, everybody in the lobby and everybody listening. Well, I knew it that we're blue.
Here. Rudy Bear.
Shout out to everybody on the platform tonight. It's been brilliant, really enjoyable chat about the famous. keep it going, guys, really, we have to, don't we, because there's nothing else for us if we don't.
Mount Vernon.
Can I give a big shout out to my big mate Jai? He's just joined in the lobby. Be friendly to him in there, and he's a good blue nose.
Skipper in Cumbria and all.
Oh, aye, definitely. Just look after him, lads. Can I just give a big shout out to the show again, mate? It's quality as usual. It's a great listen, and we are the people.
Yeah. Young Gary, rising star of Rangers Radio.
I don't know about that. No, just great show again tonight, guys. But I do want to just say a quick special shout out to Magpie. I know we're going to talk about it more offline, mate, but just to say thank you for your wonderful gesture, mate.
That's what Rangers Radio's all about, mate. That's what Rangers Radio's all about. Big Al, the global ambassador.
I'd just like to say thanks very much. Was Magpie on tonight? Because I missed him.
You missed him. He seen you coming on, he jumped off.
Top quality.
On you go, Al.
I like Magpie. He's my new favourite.
Oh, you dumped Al 63.
Oh, he's gone weeks ago. I like Travel Rug and all. But the Magpie's voice, man.
He's a man.
He's a good man. He's a real gentleman. Take care, gentlemen. All the best.
Cheers, Big Al. Boswell, good to hear from you, mate.
Thanks for welcoming me back, lads. It's been a busy time. Just like to remind everybody, Sunday night, we're back on the road again with the Sunday Euro show. It's almost by public demand. It's nice to be wanted, and it's nice to be back on the platform again, talking a rubbish in myself and EK for a couple of hours that people seem to like. But we both very much appreciate it, and we both very much appreciate that people had got behind the show and everybody on the platform as well. So thanks, and look forward to seeing you all on Sunday night.
What time is that at, Boswell?
8 o'clock as usual to 10 o'clock. Well, sometimes it's going to 20 past 10. But it depends what's going. But no, it's nice to be back on, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Can I just say, by the way, Boswell, I'm so glad you're back again. I loved it. I used to really enjoy it, So it gives me a couple of hours. I don't have to listen to the missus. I'd rather listen to you and EK, you know what I mean?
I can nag you to do the dishes.
Boswell. I'm going to tell her, by the way. I'm going to tell her.
I can nag you to do the dishes, Rudy. That's not a problem, mate.
Big Al, that is on Rangers Radio Sunday night, mate. Yeah?
Oh, beautiful. I like a bit of European football.
All right. On we go, Fox.
My shout out goes to Old School Blue and his glamorous assistant.
Yeah. Bridgeman.
Oh, what can I say? Tremendous show tonight once again. Great call-ins, marvellous conversations, superb stuff. I just like to say to all the Rangers fans all over the world and everybody on our wee Rangers radio station here, please, from all over the world, all the Rangers fans, keep it going for the Rangers because we need it. Keep it going.
Okay, can I thank everybody who's called in, all the callers who took part this evening? But I want to give a special shout out to Magpie. Thanks very much, mate. You're an absolute gentleman. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 9 and 11, talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Fox.
There's a pub in Green Street where all good proddies you will meet. So come down here and together we'll have a jar. A welcome there you will receive, so good that you won't want to leave. A fine wee pub is Saltcoats Mermaid Bar. You'll hear the sash, and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. We all support the Queen and Crown. The prices here are the best in town. The bar staff, they are one terrific crew. everyone laughing, full of cheer. It's one tremendous atmosphere, singing to support the red, white and blue. You'll hear the sash, and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. It's nice to come to the Mermaid Bar when Rangers are playing at Ibrox Park. You'll forget your worries and all your cares, singing songs against the Thames before you watch the Rangers win. For everyone here supports the Teddy Bears. You'll hear the sash, and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. If you are up from Belfast town, Tyrone, Fermanagh or County Down, Armagh, Antrim or London, Derry shores, the Mermaid is the place for you, so come and have a drink or two. Next time in Saltcoats you'll want to come back for more. You'll hear the sash, and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. You'll hear the sash, and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all.